What's up everyone, how's it going? So last night over on Twitter I actually asked you guys what quality of life changes you would like to see come for Star Wars Battlefront 2, and in this video I'm actually going to be going over, I want to say around 50 of them. I got around 62 or 70 comments, I don't really know, but I got quite a few of them, so I decided instead of making my own list, I decided to get more of the community's feedback on it, and maybe, I don't know, some of the developers might see the video, I have no idea, but basically, I'm just going to be going through them, but let's jump right into it, with the first one being The Closet Indian. He's been a subscriber for quite a long time now, and he says that he would like the squad system to be a lot more like Battlefield, where you have squad selectors and you have squad leaders as well as squad commands. I think the commands is kind of like how the original Battlefront game was, and I think this would be a good idea. I think it make the squad system just a little bit better, and I think the developers actually said that they were wanting to get in squad commands at some point for the game as like voice lines. But next up we have the ultimate Scout the Trooper, and he says make all heroes cost 6,000 battle points. Personally, I'm going to have to disagree with this. I think all of them costing around 4,000 is completely fine the way it is. I know that's just my opinion, but hey, we all have our own, so that could also be something they might implement. So next up we have Steve Cruz, and he says he wants to fix the AT-AT walker on Hoth and GA. He says you can never lock on where you want to with the orbital strike. The AT-AT on Endor and Galactic Soul works perfectly, and then he tagged Ben Walk and then dies. I don't see this as a quality of life. I think this is more of just a bug or just a gameplay issue, so it's a little bit different, but hey, hopefully that does get fixed too. So Pedro, he actually says he wants to allow the beard on or off for Han, and this would be good because it'd make it his A New Hope skin, which we still haven't got in the game yet, but who knows, maybe that'll come in the future. Next up, we have Palpatine1245, and he says, change the home menu background. The one they have now has just gotten old, and he said an overhead view of the map on Capital Supremacy like on Battlefield, being able to tell your squad which objectives to go to. So he listed a couple there. I'm going to talk about that main one about the menu thing. I think it would be good. There's actually a mod that makes it like the Venator or even Takodana. It looks really good. But the main problem with that, I think, is performance. I feel like it would take a long time to load in, because if you remember when Battlefront first came out, the loading times were pretty crazy on it. It took quite a while too, so I think that's the reason they made the front menu so simple now, is because it loads a little bit faster now. But I don't know, that's just why I think we're not going to get something like that. Generic, he says that vehicle damage to heroes needs to be fixed, and yes it does. I can't tell you how many times I've died as a hero because of one of the speeders chasing around me for like 10 minutes straight, and then they use that barrage ability and it just takes you out pretty much instantly. So Starhawk1106, I really like his idea. He says he would love a server browser, or at the very least a map vote. Personally, I want a map vote rather than a server browser or an era select, simply because whenever you add a server browser or like a era selector, you're going to split the community a lot, because I know a lot of people don't like the sequel maps and how they play, but most people love the Clone Wars maps, so I feel like the sequel maps are going to get left out a lot. So I think if they just added a map voting system, that would work a lot better, but we do know we are getting an era selector in the next few months, so there's that. So next up, Emperor Do It said to remove the glove on Luke's left hand. This is something that I've seen a lot of people actually talk about, as they want his official Return of the Jedi skin, I think it was. I think they had it like that in the original Battlefront 2015, but I don't know. So I think this would be a cool change, just to have some more customization options. And next up, this guy, I'm sorry I cannot say his name, but he actually made this really cool concept of a bunch of Luke skins we could get. It's pretty well made, so I also wanted to share it, even though it's not really a quality of life, it's more like a wish list, but it's really well made, like I said, and I just wanted to share it. And sorry I can't get your name right, but he posted this a few times, and it's really cool, so shout out to that guy for doing that. Next up we have Sam Blazer. He's also been a subscriber for a while, so thank you again for that. And he also talked about the current main menu, and the spawn background is just too dark and depressing, and I actually agree with him on this. I don't think I said that when I first talked about it. I do agree that it needs to be changed, but again, I just think there's performance issues that stop this from happening, especially on the consoles, because on PC, when I download those Venator front-end mods and stuff, they work fine. I have kind of a powerful PC, but like I think it's a little bit more powerful than the Xboxes and stuff, so I don't think it'd work for those. And again, Shia also was talking about the background change being changed, and again, I agree with this, but I just don't see it happening simply because it would be pretty hard on the consoles to run this. So next up we have Steve Cruz, and he says, how about letting Obi-Wan and Yoda force push in the air like Luke? And I think this is a good idea on paper, but when you look at their animations, Yoda's and Obi-Wan's are kind of like a charge up almost, while Luke's is pretty much instantly. That's why like Luke and Kylo can do their abilities while in mid-air. It's because it's just a one-click thing and then it automatically happens, so I don't think that's going to be happening. And next up we have Joshua, and he says fix lightsaber combat. And while I agree on that, it's just not really a quality of life. That's more like a bug fixing thing. Next up we have Jesus Salus, and he says we need to fix the rubber banding and rage of lightsabers when dodging strikes. And again, I think the lightsaber thing was supposed to be fixed today through like a hot fix or a server side change or something like that. But again, this is more of just a bug fix or something rather than a quality of life, but I appreciate the comment nonetheless. Next up, this person, again, I can't really say his name, so I'm sorry about that. He says remove the level 0 glitch. And I don't really know what that is. I don't think I've ever had that happen to me, so I'm not sure what that level 0 glitch is, but yeah, DICE fix it. Alright, next up we have I Saw That, and he says some new loading screen options would be very nice. I'd say Saber Combat, but everyone has already said that one. Yeah, again, I think most people really want some front-end menu changes to be more energetic and more Star Wars-like. I know it's inside the Venator or a Death Star or something like that, but it does get kind of boring after a while. Next up, Master Yoda said, I'm not sure if it's possible, but I would like to see the blaster bolts keeping their original colors when being deflected instead of always turning red. And I actually noticed this happening the other day when I was playing it. I'd never realized it for the longest time just because it's something you don't really pay attention to. But then I actually realized that it's kind of a weird thing. I don't know why it does that, but yeah, hopefully they can fix that. Next up, Jedi Jazza says, we need to stop menu camping. If you're in the menu for more than 15 seconds, it should spawn you in as the last infantry class you played. And I really agree with this. I think I was either talking about this on another video or maybe even a stream where they need to implement a system where you have like 25 seconds to spawn in as a class, because I think that gives you enough time to change your appearance or even change your star card loadout if you want to. But yeah, we have so many people that just wait and wait and wait, and it gets really old quickly because you check the scoreboard and you just see no one is playing it. It kind of takes away from the game. Next up we have, I think you pronounce it as Dayon Cope, and he says the ability to put orders on command posts similar to the Battlefield series to say things like go, attack this, objective, or whatever. And again, I agree with this. I think the DICE developers said that they're wanting to add voice lines with commands. I think that would help out a lot. But next up we have Boba, and he actually says that CS needs to be reverted to its original state and have better and more threatening AI. And I actually kind of like how it is now. I think they need to up the damage output of the actual things you need to blow up inside the Venators, because I think the games don't last as long, and just kind of the second phase doesn't last very long at all. That I've noticed it lasts like 2 minutes at most sometimes. But that is actually the last of the requests that I'm going to be going over today. Now I wanted to add in some more of my own. Personally, I really want to see some more music get added to this game. I think a really good quality of life feature would be to where whenever you're playing as the hero, that hero's theme actually plays the whole song. So like Darth Vader, the entire Imperial March theme plays. Anakin, whatever his theme is, I think it's the Battle of the Heroes, that whole thing plays, but it's not on a loop. So each song is about 3 minutes long or so, but after that, if you're still playing as a hero, just the normal music cue comes up. But I think having the music just be like, I think it's like 5 seconds now, it kind of is just a little underwhelming in my opinion, especially because of how big the heroes are. And when you get to play as a hero, you want some awesome music going for quite a while. So I think that would really work out. And as for just normal music, I think there's just so much more songs that need to be played, especially ones that are actually already in the game. There's actually a mod called the More Music mod or Enhanced Music mod, something like that. And it takes all the music from all the modes and puts them on every single playlist. So like Starfighter has its own set of music, Galactic Assault does, Capital Supremacy, but what he does is he actually mixes all the songs into one playlist or something like that to make it to where every single song plays in each game mode, doesn't matter what mode you're playing. And then as well as just adding in other tracks to the game. I think adding Battle of the Heroes to normal infantry and just normal gameplay would be really awesome to hear too. And another thing I've been wanting for forever now, it feels like, because I think I've been wanting this ever since the game came out, that's the spawn timer just to be removed. I know some people are okay with it the way it is, but personally I just hate waiting 10 seconds in the menu, just waiting to respawn. Maybe I'm just way too impatient, but it does kind of take away from the battle a little bit in my opinion, especially when it's like at a really crazy state on the last phase of Capital Supremacy and you're wanting to get back in the action, but you're just stuck waiting at that spawn menu for 10 seconds. Now that doesn't seem like a lot, but for me it feels like forever. And another thing that really sucks is when you feel like you're about to get a hero because it says this hero is available in 9, 8, 7, and so on. Then right when it gets to 1, it says not available because someone took it at that last second. Even though they would have taken it already, I think it would help out because you wouldn't think that you would be able to get that hero if the spawn timer didn't exist, because it would just say automatically this hero is not available. But yeah, I think deleting the spawn timer isn't too big of a deal because they've actually had events called Fast Spawn event, and it works really well in my opinion and doesn't make things too chaotic. And if they don't want to get rid of it completely, maybe they can just reduce the timer down to like 5 seconds or 4 or 3 just to give you a little bit of space, but I think 10 seconds is too long. But that is pretty much going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure and leave a like. Let me know what you guys thought about all of these suggestions down below. And thank you to everyone who commented. There was a lot more, but I just don't really have the time to go over every single one of them. And a lot of them were repeating themselves because a lot of people kind of want the same idea, like the main menu and spawn menu being changed and all that stuff. But again, I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, be sure and leave a like. And if you're new, subscribe for more Star Wars news, gameplay, and more. And I'll hopefully see you in the next one.